There was once an old castle in the middle of a large, thick forest, and in it lived an old woman, quite alone. She was a witch. By day, she made herself into a cat or a screech owl, but in the evening, she took her proper shape again, as a human being. She could lure wild beasts and birds to her, and then she killed and boiled them. If anyone came within 100 paces of the castle, he was obliged to stand still and could not stir from the place until she bade him be free. But if an innocent maiden came within that circle, she changed her into a bird and shut her up in a cage. She had about 7,000 cages of rare birds in the castle. Now there was once a maiden called Jorinda, who was more beautiful than all other girls. She and a youth named Joringel were betrothed to each other. They loved each other dearly and were never happier than when they were together. One day they went for a walk in the forest so that they could be alone. "Take care," said Joringel, "that you do not go too near the castle." It was a beautiful evening. The sun shone brightly between the trunks of the trees, among the dark green leaves of the forest, and the turtle doves sang mournfully in the old beech trees. Jorinda wept now and then. She sat down in the sunshine and lamented, and Joringel lamented too. They felt as if they were doomed. They looked around and were quite at a loss, for they did not know which way to go home. The sun was still half above the hill and half under. Joringel looked through the bushes and saw the walls of the old castle close at hand, and half dead with fright, Jorinda sang,
"My little bird with the sorrowful song, sing sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. He sings that little dove song, sing sorrow, sorrow, sorrow."
Joringel looked at Jorinda. She was changed into a nightingale and sang. A screech owl with glowing eyes flew through 3 times around them, and 3 times cried, "Choo-hoo! Choo-hoo! Choo-hoo!" Joringel could not move. He stood like a stone and could neither weep nor speak, nor stir hand or foot. And now the sun went down. The old owl flew into a bush, and immediately an old woman came out of it, pale and meager, with large red eyes and a hooked nose, the point of which reached to her chin. She muttered to herself, seized the nightingale, and carried it away in her hand. Joringel could say nothing. He could not move from the spot, and the nightingale was gone. At last the woman came back again, and said in a gruff voice, "Good evening, Zachiel. When the moon shines on the cage, Zachiel, let him loose at once." Then Joringel was freed. He fell on his knees before the old woman and implored her to give him back his Jorinda, but she said he should never have her again, and went away. He called, he wept, he lamented, but all in vain. "Ah, what is to become of me?" he said. Joringel went away and at last came to a strange village. There he kept sheep for a long time. He often walked round and round the castle, but not too near it. One night he dreamt that he found a blood-red flower, in the middle of which was a beautiful large pearl. He plucked the flower and went with it to the castle, and everything that he touched with the flower was freed from enchantment. He also dreamt that by means of it he recovered his Jorinda. In the morning when he awoke, he began to search over hill and dale for such a flower. He searched for 8 days, and on the 9th day, early in the morning, he found the blood-red flower. In its center was a large dewdrop, as big as the finest pearl. He traveled day and night with the flower until he came to the castle. When he came within 100 paces of it, he was not fixed as before, but walked on to the front door. Joringel was full of joy. He touched the door with the flower, and it sprang open. He went in through the courtyard and listened for the singing of the birds. At last he heard it. He went on and found the hall where the witch was feeding the birds in the 7,000 cages. When she saw Joringel, she was angry, very angry, and scolded him, and spat poison and gall at him. But she could not come within 2 yards of him. He did not take any notice of her, but turned to look at the birds. But how was he to find his Jorinda among the 7,000 nightingales? While he was looking, he noticed that the old woman was secretly taking away a cage with a bird in it, and was making for the door. He sprang after her, touched the cage with the flower, and also the old woman, so that she could no longer exercise her witchcraft. And now Jorinda stood before him, and she threw her arms around his neck, looking as beautiful as ever. Then he touched all the other birds with the flower, so that they resumed their human forms. And he went home with his Jorinda, and they lived happily together for many years.